She told me off in the back of a McDonald's. It only cost a Big Mac. This shit like $3. I think I'm getting kicked out of the place. Straight face, Ronald be chasing. I'm running for my life, it's crazy. I'm feeling like Bowser with Daisy.
What is up, guys? TDZ back with another video, and sorry for my voice. Recovering from a cold that, and also losing my voice. Been to a lot of NBA games this year, and basketball. I'm always gonna get hype, and yeah, whatnot, blah blah blah. Anyway, today we're going to be returning back with what if I was in um Total Drama. Well, this would be Total Drama Action instead of Total Drama Island, but we're going to keep the same timeline. So I was in, both. I was in Total Drama Island. This is Total Drama Action. Same stuff happened. So, I got eliminated seventh place, I believe. Courtney got me out. Blah blah blah. So for this, I kinda just instead of because technically Jeff was the first male eliminated, it would be much more complicated to eliminate Jeff or to replace Jeff with me, since Aftermath hosts. So we're just going to do Trent because he was the next guy eliminated. Um, so yeah. Anyway, like for the last video, I'm gonna mainly try to go off of challenges. Now, Total Drama Action is my worst season, I think, because I don't remember most of the challenges, mainly because of, like all the non-eliminations and other stuff like that. But I have a solid idea of most of the challenges, like or at least the elimination ones, for instance. Um, I have some notes for like just to know like which challenges are which. So I should be good. There's one non-elimination challenge I think we have to talk about. But besides, like, that, all that, we should be good. So we can just go ahead and start the challenge, or start the episode, my fault. Or start the video, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Okay. But the team, basically, the first episode will go very similar to the original. I think me being here changes really nothing except like Gwen's interactions because Gwen interacted with Trent quite a bit. Um, but yeah, those would be the only things changing with the first episode. Owen will still win it, blah blah blah. Bidding picks the bad trailer. The trailer gets stomped on, however that happens, blah blah. Next episode would be the alien one. Okay. Honestly, I think a couple groups form. Obviously, these two would still be kissing, which would leave them, you know, like alone. I think Duncan and Gwen had their own group. Pretty sure DJ was a part of it, and I want to say Harold and Shauna, but I could be wrong about that one. Um, Heather still is on her own, but she was like with like Izzy and Owen, right? Something like that. I don't remember too much of the teams, but all I know is that like everybody got caught besides Duncan, Gwen. Oh yeah, I would probably hang out with more of like Lashana and DJ. Those would probably be like my two closest friends, allies, whatever you want to call them. Blah blah blah. But either way, I do think that the teams will. I do think the team captains like, but I do think that everyone else is gonna get caught like they did. They'll get caught for kissing. Izzy tries to fight Chef. Heather got caught somehow. Lindsay got caught. Most of these people got caught. And I do think could do good in taking Trent's spot in being in the final three. No, I don't. I do remember that that originally Trent went for the necklace. I wouldn't do that because I'm not obsessed with Gwen. But I do think that Chef would still go for Duncan before me or Gwen, just because Duncan and Chef don't always get along, you know. So I think in this timeline Duncan was a previous winner, so that might slightly um change, like intensify Chef's feelings towards him. I don't know how that exactly how that works, but yeah. So I do think that me and Gwen will end up being the team captains, and yes. So I don't remember who what the order was exactly, but I do know that she was on the Screaming Gaffers and Trent was the Killer Grips. So I think it's ladies first too. So she would pick Duncan obviously because that's what she did in the original. I don't see any reason for that to change with me here, especially with me here now with no Trent. That gives her more of a okay to do it, even though she's gonna do it regardless, as we seen. With me, here's the thing. Here's the big first change. I picked Lashana. The reason I picked Lashana is because me and Lashana had a decent connection in the last season. Even though she voted me out in the last season, it was all Courtney's doing, so I wouldn't really blame her for that. Plus, because like I have a couple friends like Lashana in real life. I like her like real close, but if something happens where they have to betray you, I mean it just happens. It just happens to be that way. Um, 'Cause plus it's not nothing, like, too serious, like, honestly, like, it was only 100 grand at the time, so, like, I probably wouldn't be I would be bummed, but, I mean, at the end of the day, I would blame Courtney more than Lashana. Uh, Next person would that Gwen gets to pick, uh, without Lashana on her team, I don't think she chooses to do the, keep your friends closer, your enemies closer, so because Lashana's originally the one that said that, I believe I'm pretty sure. So, I don't think she would go for Heather. I think oh, by the way, I forgot these 2 people got these 2 got eliminated. I don't know why I forgot, but yeah, they get eliminated. But I think she would go for somebody who's decent at challenges. So I think she's gonna go for Beth, because Beth is a pretty good challenge player. Next pick for me, I would have to pick a boy now, and it would be between probably Owen, Harold, and DJ. I would not want to pick Justin, to be honest. I really wouldn't want to pick Harold either, but um, I'd pick DJ. Let's we're just gonna keep it simple. I'd pick DJ because DJ's better in challenges. Like I said, I think I would have a better connection with him. Um, because I don't really see myself connecting with either of the three of them. Maybe Duncan a little bit, but me and Duncan are probably still on shaky terms from last season, especially since he's still dating Courtney in this timeline. Um, so yeah, I mean, well, he's still dating Courtney in the original action timeline too, I think. But I mean, you get what I mean. No, no, they were broken up. Yeah, I don't remember, but I think they were broken up actually. Either way, then it would be time for them to pick, and I think like maybe Justin would l- try to make some sort of a move, and like he wouldn't want to getting picked behind Duncan and DJ. That's one thing, but getting picked behind Owen and Harold, that would be a completely another thing. So I think Justin just like pulls his shirt off and like he gets Beth and Gwen to like simp over him or something like that, and they pick him. That's my take on it. Here's where Lashana says, "Keep your friends close, enemies closer." Blah blah blah. Even though it would be less of a reason for her to say this because our main enemy would have been Courtney in this timeline, but um Heather is still an enemy that we had. There that not even I had because I worked with Heather. I think like Lashana would still try to get Heather on our team just because she's an easy scapegoat. Well, actually, Heather wouldn't be bald in this timeline, would she? I don't think she would be. Did she make the final three in mine? In my last episode? I don't remember. I haven't watched it in a while. I actually don't know if Heather will be bald. Let me know in the comments. Even though I'm probably gonna go check after this episode is finished anyway. Okay, now it's time for the Screaming Gaffers to pick, and I'm gonna keep it a buck. It's between these two. I think I think they pick Izzy. And listen, hear me out, hear me out. The reason I think they pick Izzy is because like Izzy's better at like physical challenges. And at this point, Lindsay's kind of just shown to be like an airhead. I don't see any reason for Gwen to think they're both airheads, right? But like, would you rather have a good physical airhead or normal airhead. It's kind of simple. And here's where the first thing that comes into play that's like kind of not important, but like weird. And it would become my turn. Lasana would be trying to get me to pick Harold because in this timeline, I do think Harold and her would still, be cool. They weren't dating or anything like that, but like they would still be good friends. And she wanted me to pick Harold, and I would pick Owen. Why would I do that? I'm gonna be honest, I just don't like Harold. Sorry about that. But yeah, I just don't like Harold, and honestly, I don't see him being that much of a help to me when I would be more playing a more strategical game this time. So I would be trying to work Lashana. I would be trying to get Lashana on my side, one of my biggest allies. Having Harold on our team would defeat that purpose because Harold would always be your number one. If it came down to the point where everybody was eliminated and it was just the three of us, she would obviously choose Harold over me because they're close. So my pick on it is that I just don't pick Harold at all. If luck strikes me right, Harold can be eliminated before the merge, and then I have Lashana all to myself. Another person who I'm going to be trying to work big on is DJ because DJ is a good physical player, good socially, and having an alliance between the three of us would be huge for me in the merge because I have two good merge physical threats that I can hide use as shields, one, and two, they're very down to earth people. Most of the time does no betrayal, but we keep moving. Anyway, yeah, these would be the teams, the first challenge, blah blah blah. We win the first part of the challenge, but I don't remember if that because I mean we have DJ and Owen in the timeline. They have no one to pull for them. Like no one. The stronger person on this team is I want to say Duncan, but I mean he has a lot of muscles, so he does a lot of working out probably. But like he's not gonna carry a trailer by himself. He would literally rather die. Um, so we have Owen and DJ, so we wouldn't really struggle with that first part. But I don't remember if the first part is even relevant. But the second part is where you have to do the performing. They still get switched because I don't think that me being here would change that. Izzy performs. Well, no. Okay, hold on. We actually have to think about which ones they got. So originally, Izzy was on this killer grip. So we would get they would mix up. So we would get the gangster one. We would get the gangster one. They would get the bunny one. Izzy would still try to do that. She would do that better than the gangster one, probably, but she wouldn't do that very well. Now, I'm an aspiring actor, so I think I have the edge here. I've done some plays, musicals, blah blah blah. Acting is the career I want to pursue. So a challenge where you have to literally act would probably be my strong suit. And we have DJ on our team anyway, and Chef still makes the alliance with DJ or the illegal alliance with DJ, and he would still give us the win, but I think I would be able to beat out Izzy regardless. Either way, bottom line, Izzy gets booted because of the same reason. I mean, I just don't see a reason for that to not happen in this timeline. Um, I just like it. I think she would really be real over the top with it in a weird kind of way, like she was with the what's it called? Mm, it would just feel really un. What's that? I can't think of the word. It would feel really unnatural, you know. Anyway, the next challenge of importance is, I believe, if I'm correct, it to be in something 10 to Crazy Town. Let me check my notes. I think it is like it's like a number like 510 to Crazy 10 or something like that or 910. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the land on a horse episode. So that one. Like I said in the oh, you guys haven't seen that one yet. But yeah, I do have the recast action season already recorded. But yeah, I was gonna say like I said in there, but it hasn't been posted yet at the time of this recording. But yeah, um I don't remember if jumping on the horse had any importance. I think it probably decided who was what's that called? Lassoing? I think that like decided who was lassoing, but um we're going to put a pause on that for like 30 seconds. Jumpers, Gwen would jump, Duncan would jump, Duncan would probably push Harold into jumping, and Beth would jump. Justin would say no because he needs his assets. Yeah. I would jump because see, look, the difference is this is not like the cliff dive. This is not that far off the ground. I mean, it's definitely far, but it's not as far as the cliff dive. Plus, there were sharks, so there's a big difference. Why I would jump now and not then. Lasana, I think, did jump. I think that their thing still happens where like it ripped their clothes, or she got stuck by her poof, and she got stuck by like her pants, whatever, those shorts, whatever you want to call them. DJ, I don't know if DJ jumps, but these two jump. These two jump. I don't think DJ jumps, but it doesn't matter. We would still get the win. Now I do not remember if like the winner lost who got the last of the other because okay, well, first of all, let's talk about this. There should have been originally like a gunfight challenge, or like, not a gunfight, but like a water gun fight challenge. Um, I'm not doing that because I don't know what that challenge would have been. I mean, I have an idea, but I don't have an exact go by of like what that challenge would have looked like, so I'm not gonna do it. So we're gonna do the original lasso one. And originally, if I'm 100% sure, the killer grips were the ones who were lassoing, and they end up getting lassoed by them by the cows, which were the gaffers. Quote me if I'm wrong. I like I said, this is my worst season, but do have notes, so this is like should be accurate. Anyway, I think we have the win here. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. Lindsay might get lassoed herself. Owen might get lassoed. Heather might, but then we have me, LaShawn, and DJ. And let's keep it a B. We're going to lasso Harold, Beth, Justin. Them two are going to be probably a bit of a problem, but if the four of us and if they don't get caught, the six of us are working together, we can lasso the two of them. Um, Now I could see like them two getting caught, them two taking their lassos from them, and like trying to take on all four of us. But like, let's be honest, me and Lashana team up on Gwen. Or no, me and Lashana team up on Duncan, DJ and Heather team up on Gwen. Bam, we win. I just don't see a way that they are able to win that, especially if they're the cows, um, or whatever they're called. They had udders on their head, so I'm calling them cows. But yeah, they would lose this. They would lose the next match. The next match, they would lose this challenge. And I'm going to be so honest. This is Justin's run. He ends here. He didn't jump. He wasn't useful in the challenge. He doesn't have any Justin leverage. I mean, any Trent leverage in this timeline. He just gets eliminated. Second person eliminated. Well, fourth really, but yeah, he gets eliminated again, in very similar fashion to the original. I just don't see it. I just don't see him making it farther than this. I don't see any way he can talk his way out of this either because he might have been able to seduce Gwen to get him on the team, but like but the only person that the only way he could possibly get out of this is if he gets Beth to vote Duncan and tries to get Harold to vote Duncan. But then Gwen would also talk to Harold and like tell him like, dude, if we vote Duncan out, we're going to literally get everyone voted out back to back to back. Do you want to lose every challenge? And Harold would probably be like, gosh, no, and would end up voting with them. I just there, now that I'm looking back on it, it would definitely be a close one. Harold being the swing vote. Like, does he either get his bully out or go for or just get rid of the dead weight? But I do think he chooses to get rid of the dead weight because he would probably think like, what would Lashana do? And she would obviously do the more strategical option. Blah blah blah. Anyway, the next challenge would be because it would be the prison challenge. They did the aftermath, blah blah blah. That happened, I guess. But yeah, the next challenge would be the prison challenge. So the first part of the challenge would be to pick somebody. Oh wait, I gotta go up here. Be to pick somebody to eat, and they gotta make a disgusting meal for the other team. I'm not gonna go into too much detail. I mean, they're gonna pick Lindsay for sure. We will probably pick, I don't know, not even Beth. Beth ate kind of ate worms in season one. Um, Honestly, we probably go. He ate his boogers though. This will be a harder one for us, but it really doesn't matter who we pick. So we're just gonna say Beth. But it doesn't matter who we pick because DJ is gonna put Mama Spice on it to make them win that part of the challenge. So they get the shovel. They get the shovel. We get the spoons. I believe. No. It's not that reward yet. So the next challenge would be the the push your teammates to the end. Now I do not. No, I think that was the reward. Was the put? Yeah, that was the reward. Was the shovels and the spoons. But yeah, they get the shovel. We get the spoons, and we okay, they would pick somebody to push for us, and it would still be Lindsay. Um, and we would pick somebody to push for them. We'll go Harold, and Harold will sure he'll have a tough time pushing these. I mean, pushing these guys. But then we have Lindsay, who's she's she's gonna struggle pushing these two big weights around, dude. Let's be honest. She already struggled in the original pushing Owen, dude. Like Owen and DJ, we would definitely lose this challenge. I mean, even if we do get there in time, I think like okay, they have the shovel, they get towards the end, they start working on theirs way before we get to ours. We get done now. We're digging with the spoons. I mean, yeah, spoons. Here's where Izzy comes back, and Izzy will literally be like, "Yeah, I'll help you guys win." Blah blah blah. Me and Lashana would be skeptical, uh, and then Owen would be like, "You know, it's Izzy. Let's trust her." And she leads us the oh my bad, and she leads us the complete opposite way. And she's like, "Yeah, that's my team. Of course, I'm gonna help my team." And we just vote out Owen. It's not even a question. We vote out Owen. I mean, Lindsay definitely choked, but like can we blame her? I mean, she definitely sold it, but can you blame her? She had to eat nasty foods, which is already not her strong suit. Then she had to push freaking Owen and DJ. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a strong guy, really strong guy. I don't think I could push Owen and DJ. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't think I could push Owen and DJ. So I'm not gonna get. So I don't think we would get on her too bad. Plus, Owen is the one who told us to believe Izzy. So I think that's more reason for us to eliminate Owen than someone like Heather, or Lindsay. Who I mean, Lindsay deserved it, and Heather's a shield, but I just don't see it. And Izzy would still go to the Screaming Gaffers. Just I feel like to even it out. Originally she would have went to the Killer Grips, but she wasn't on the Killer Grips team in this timeline, so I think she would go to whatever team she was on, which is the Screaming Gaffers in this timeline. So yeah, that's the prison episode. And the next episode we have here is that's important. Okay, see, and I did say there's one non-elimination challenge that we have to talk about, and that's episode 8. Not gonna go into too much detail. Goes about the same way, but this time the only difference is that there's two people who solve it. Here's the thing though. I think I would also be able to solve it because, first of all, I wouldn't get tricked like everyone else did. I don't remember how they got tricked, but I don't think I would get tricked by a disease. Um, so due to that, we would still get the win for having two people there, and her doing the crying thing, she would still get to go out with LaQuisha, whatever her cousin's name is, blah blah blah. Like I said, that's the one we have to talk about. But we're pretty good from here on out. The next challenge of relevance would be the horror challenge, and that would be the serial killer one. So the first part of the challenge, you have to try and scare your own team. Yes, and I was actually confused because at first I thought it was the other team, but no, I very distinctly remember DJ trying to scare Lashana. And was Lashana on his team? No, no, they were on opposite teams, weren't they? No, they were on the same team. Yeah, they were on the same team. So yeah, DJ. So it's scare your own team because Beth was scaring Lindsay. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So obviously for their team, I don't see a reason for them not to pick Duncan as the killer. You originally for the Screaming Gaffers, it would have been Duncan if Chef didn't interfere and pick DJ. Um, but yeah, for our team, DJ would still get picked as the killer just because blah blah blah. Um, for the first part of the challenge, which is the one in the bathroom, Lindsay would still be picked to do that. DJ would still scare her. I mean, DJ would scare her because she got scared of Beth. I think she'll get scared of DJ. For the first scene, we need somebody to make out, so we're gonna do Harold and Beth. Beth. We'll do Harold and Beth. For the bathroom scene, we'll do Gwen. Gwen's will probably be very similar to Lashana's and DJ's, but like more in a romantic kind of way. Like Duncan would probably jump in there all scary like, and Gwen would be like, "That's the best you got," like that kind of thing. And Duncan would be like, "Do you want to win this challenge or not?" And she would give like a half-assed scream like, "Ah, I'm so scared." And Duncan would be like, "Yeah, we're definitely winning this challenge," sarcastically, of course. I don't know how much of the sarcasticness you guys can hear with my voice like this, but we move. The next part of the challenge would be Lashana would be in the woods, and I think Lashana would fill that role. And Izzy, uh, I honestly don't think Duncan's scaring Izzy. I'm gonna keep it a bean. I don't think DJ's scaring Lashana either. Izzy would probably give more of a scream than Lashana because Lashana would just laugh at DJ like in the original, like you're supposed to be scary, dude, and then DJ would be like, "Rar," I guess. But yeah, Beth and Harold would be naked. Okay, now we're on the naked part. So we won the first one with her, and Izzy won the second one with them. So kind of like a tiebreaker. And here's the thing: I don't find Heather repulsive like Duncan did, so I would do the kiss thing. So I don't like think. Now, I mean, it wouldn't be for long or whatever, but I do think that we would, for the sake of the script, like they said, to do it. I wouldn't be coughing my lungs out like Duncan and Heather was originally. Heather might, but I would still remember there's a challenge that's at play, so we have to pay attention for when DJ pops up and at least fake a scream. Doesn't even got to be like anything too crazy. Like I'm not gonna scream. My voice is not ready to scream, but like I would do something like decent at least. I would still remember like there's a part of the challenge, guys. Remember, we Heather, there's a challenge right now. Like stop coughing, yell, scream, do something. They would lose this part because Beth literally can't scream. Like Lindsay said in the original, can't. Harold might though. Harold would end up winning this for the team because Duncan would easily scare the piss out of Harold. Like no, like no cap. I'm not lying to you. Like Harold would piss his pants. Like like we're gonna say for this scene, Beth is like kissing all over him, and like he's trying to like get her off, and then Duncan appears like with a knife, and boom, Harold like oh yeah, so he can't do it, but like Harold would like do like a huge scream, oh, and then in confessional would be like, gosh, first Beth on me, then Duncan scaring the crap out of me. Like, yeah, it would be something like that. They would win that part of the challenge. So I don't remember exactly how this challenge went. I think the losing team had to stay in the cabins, which would have been us. I'm going to keep it a buck. I don't get scared. There's two things about me. When I eat spicy foods, I don't feel it. And when something scary is happening, I don't get scared. Now, DJ might get scared and run off. Lindsay might get scared, but this episode, Lindsay was trying to take control. I don't know if she still does that in this timeline because our team is better than her original team, and we don't only have 4 members left. But or no, 5 members because Izzy came back. But I don't. Just for the fun of it, we'll say that Lindsay is kind of helping me in the team leader role because I do think I would more be the leader of the team since I'm literally the captain of the team that picked the team. Um, but yeah, me and Lindsay would more be sharing the leader role. I don't think we would be arguing over it because if Lindsay says something that makes sense, I would just sit back and be like, "Hey, you got it, big dog." Um, but yeah, Lindsay, I share the team role. So I don't think we end up getting scared. Even if they do the thing where they hit the monitor and it goes off, I still just don't think we're gonna get scared, to be honest, because DJ might run, Lindsay might eventually run, Heather might even run, Lashana might, and I'm not a heavy emphasis on might, but I wouldn't. I would stay in the tent and be like, bro, it's relax. like just you could clearly tell that like and I don't even know if they would be able to come up with the same plan because um I don't even know if they would be able to come up with the same plan because they don't have DJ, they don't have Heather, Shauna. They still have two. Well, no, Gwen wasn't even there. So they have Duncan, which is their best chance, and Gwen could probably help out a lot. But like, I just Izzy would probably do a pretty good job too. But like, I just don't see them scaring me. They might even get Lashana, but I don't think they get me. So I think we do end up winning this challenge. Um, because like I said, I just don't see them scaring me. Now it doesn't really matter. We'll say that just for the fun of it, Harold teamed up with Beth and Izzy to vote out Duncan. But DJ quits, so it doesn't really matter. The next challenge would be the I don't even know what this episode is called, but it was the war challenge. So first they gotta jump off the airplane. Um, don't remember how relevant that was to the next challenge, which was the paint splatter, blah blah blah. Um, is Explosivo would still massively take over, and you know how that goes. But then there's the last challenge, and okay, so big changes. There's no Owen in the disaster challenge getting his jaw busted. So there's no smoothie for Lashana to drink to give the butt bomb and absolutely stink up the thing. Because of this, I also think that the teamwork between our team would be better. Um, and I do think that we would be able to protect the chest, and when we'd open the chest and see that there's nothing freaking in there, I believe there's nothing in there. I'm not gonna lie to you. Something that I haven't been um projecting into this as much is that sometimes I forget I am a D1 crash out. No, I'm gonna keep it I'm gonna keep it a buck. There are times where if you see me IRL, like the crash, I'm the crash out of the crash outs. Okay, and I don't think that this would like really get me, but like if I really thought we were about to get like a good reward and we open a chest to see nothing, um, I'm gonna be pissed. I would definitely crash out, not as much as I would if I get eliminated. Like, honestly, I think I would crash out in my elimination last season too. Like I would probably be like, "Damn man, it's fucking bullshit." Um, and I would definitely say some other things, but we're going to keep this not family friendly because this will just cussed anyway. But like, we move. We're not gonna get all into that. You feel me? But yeah, um, I think we win. They lose. Izzy gets eliminated. Plain and simple. And like Izzy is like really confident because she thinks Harold's gonna vote with Duncan out with them again. But like even Beth and Harold was like, yeah, yeah, we gotta vote her out. Like that shit's crazy. And now she's eliminated for the long haul. No coming back. No, no comeback to go collect $200. Nah, no, that was a Monopoly reference. I said it so wrong. No pass go, no collect $200. You out. Anyway, the next challenge. Let me think of what the name is. The bank heist challenge. Okay, and they would have to rob a bank, of course. But we're gonna get to that part because first they would have to do. Also, by this time, I think like um me and Lashana would be talking. So like me and Lashana would be talking like strategy. I mean, not like not like that talking, but like we would be talking like strategy. Like, hmm, Lindsay and Heather are the only two other people on our team. We need to make sure that Lindsay doesn't vote with Heather to cause a tie. Because if that happens, I mean, not that we don't think we could win a tiebreaker, but we don't want to be in that kind of situation. So me and LaShawn, so I would be kind of like trying to talk to Lindsay to make sure that like she votes with us type. Like I mean, I know she wouldn't really vote with Heather, but like if Heather uses logic, like the two of them are an unstoppable duo, it could possibly persuade her vote. Even though like she's really um there's not a lot going on up there's not a lot going on up there, but the little bit that is going on up there might like understand and be like, okay. So I would be talking to her more like keeping Heather away from her, um, giving Lashana the chance to get stole. And for this team, we're gonna say Gwen gets stole. And yeah. So yeah, we're gonna say Gwen gets stole, Lashana gets stole. And now we get to the second part of the challenge where we actually have to figure it out. However, Harold probably figures it out. I'm not gonna lie. Like out of the people here, Harold probably figures it out. Um, just because like I don't, I just think Harold figures it out. Then we get to the second part of the challenge where we have to break people out. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Duncan is going to tell Harold and Beth we're leaving Gwen. Sorry, Gwen's a real one. Gwen's a good friend or whatever. Blah blah blah. But we gotta win this challenge. So they're going to skip over to challenge. Me and Heather and Lindsay would, for one, be like kind of like lost because I don't know how to break into a safe, dude. Like I don't know how to do that. But I do think after enough time, Heather would eventually be able to figure it out. The reason why we don't leave like Harold, Duncan, and Beth is because there's a possibility there could be a penalty. And I would remind, like, I think Heather would probably like when she's seen Duncan leaving, she'd be like, "Come on, let's just leave. Let's leave." Lashana, Laquisha, whatever she likes to call Lashana. But and I would be like, "Look, bro, there could be a penalty. Would you rather stay here, eventually get Lashana out, instead of go there, be late after them, and still get penalized with them? We both get the same penalty most likely, meaning we lose still. So we might as well just get Lashana out, try and get the win." Um, Spoiler alert: there is no penalty. So yeah, they win. Courtney comes back. Courtney joins our team because we would be so late. Like by the time we got there, they would be finishing the challenge, and Courtney would be like, "Thanks, team, for leaving me." And me and Lashana would be looking like wiping our eyes, like, "Hold on, like team, T- who invited this bitch?" And like me and Lashana would already like be thinking like, "Yeah, we voting her out tonight. Like this just over with." Then vote time would happen. Okay, they win. Vote time happens, and surprise, surprise, Courtney has immunity. What what a bogus rule. Me and Lashana would think, and that's why where me convincing Lindsay to join us would be good because me and Lashana would definitely vote for Heather. We would try to convince Lindsay to vote Heather. Courtney and Heather would vote for Lashana. Well, yeah, they would both vote for Lashana because they both dislike Lashana more than me. Um, well, she probably dislikes me more than Lashana, but she dislikes Lashana more than me, and they both dislike Lashana. And I don't think she specifically dislikes me. I just think she just doesn't like anyone. So I think they try to convince Lindsay, but I just like, I've been talking to Lindsay this whole episode. I don't think she listens. Heather gets booted. Um, so Courtney's probably like, damn. So next elimination, I'm not gonna have that immunity. So now she's thinking we gotta win every challenge, so I don't get eliminated. Next episode is the sports one where they have like 5 different challenges. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't even know, dude. Like, I don't even know how these challenges ended up in the original. Okay, the first one is the conditioning, which is the marshmallow fighting. I think that was Lindsay and Harold. I think Lindsay won that. Um, Harold, Courtney would actually be going try hard in this challenge. By the way, the next one, no, no, no. The second one was boxing. So what was the conditioning? I have no clue. We're just You know what? We're just gonna skip to the end of the challenge. Tiebreaker, blah blah blah. All comes down to the cheerleading thing. But right before the cheerleading thing, Courtney's like, well, there's a chance we might lose this. Well, let me go ahead and let me go ahead and stir up some drama. Okay. Okay. I still think that okay, going back, looking back on it, she would win the badminton. The pinball wrestling would still go to Courtney. Slam dunk competition. I don't know who won that. I think it was Justin, but we're gonna say that Gwen wins it because I don't know, Gwen. I don't know, probably got some Super Mario powers. I mean, I just don't think any of us. Okay, if I'm in the slam dunk competition, I'll win because I'm a basketball player. But like, I play basketball. I mean, but I don't think I would be picked for that because like Chris wouldn't let that happen. Chris wouldn't let somebody who's good at a challenge do that challenge. I just don't see it. I think you'd probably like Shauna do that, and I do the conditioning thing. Uh, yeah, whatever that is. Anyway, it would still come down to the tiebreaker. Blah blah blah. Look, we would lose the first challenge was the conditioning. We'd win the boxing. We'd win the pinball. All right, hold on. How are the setups is they win conditioning, we win boxing, they win badminton, we win ball pit wrestling, they win slam dunk contest probably, just depending on who they put up, and then the cheerleading contest is last. Um, I think that we end up. I think okay. Here's what I think ends up happening. Courtney, like I said, wants to stir up some drama. She wants to try to kind of stray the vote away from herself. So she pulls out her PDA and like, hey guys, especially Zay and Lindsay, look what Lashana was saying about you guys on the what's it called? Da, 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 da. This is where it gets exposed. These guys would be pissed. She would be pissed. Courtney would look back at me to like just to see the face of an alliance crumbling, and I would just be like normal, like, I. Courtney would ask like, "Aren't you mad?" And I would be like, "I mean, yeah, okay." She says some hurtful stuff about us, but like, bro, that's a reality show. I mean, everybody's not gonna be all friendship and rainbows. It's if you're with people long enough, eventually you're gonna have something bad to say about them. I wouldn't care. Me and my friends, honestly, me and my friends say some of the most hurtfulest things anyway as trolls. So I wouldn't really be pissed. I mean, I would probably just be like, nah, nice one. Yeah, I probably am annoying. And like Lashana would probably be like, congrats, thanks for being a real one. Courtney would be like, are you kidding me right now? Like, are we being serious? And we'd be like, yeah, I mean, this is what it is. But I still think Lashana, just so she doesn't have a bad relationship with like these guys, especially like Harold, Gwen, she would still do her little cheerleading thing, and it would win us the challenge. They go to elimination, and with them going to elimination, I think that okay, honestly, okay. First of all, we already know that Duncan and Gwen are gonna vote together. They're going to probably vote Harold because Harold's less good in physical challenges. He might be smart, but I mean, that can only take you but so far. And then you have like someone like Beth, who like excels in physical challenges, or not excels, but like does good in physical challenges and is slightly intelligent, I guess. Um, so I just think that they vote for Harold. And honestly, I just think they're like, yeah, Beth, you should vote with us because you don't want to be on the wrong side of the vote. And honestly, I just think like Beth gotta go like, yeah, you probably right. And then Harold goes like that. I just don't see Harold coming out of that one, you know. Luckily for Beth, it's merge time. Yay! Mergey, 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 merge. Whoopty, whoopty loop. Blah blah blah. Anyway, so yeah. So here's what we're gonna do. Merge challenge. The first merge challenge. All right. So if we have the first merge challenge, which I'm pretty sure is the first one of relevance is the superhero one. The superhero one, Lindsay still went the elimination, won the immunity in the first challenge for dressing up as a Wonder Woman. Courtney still complains. I'd probably also want to complain, but just because Courtney's mad, I'd probably be like, yeah, that's a super good one. Just because like me, like bro, me and Shauna would be, we would want to get Courtney out so bad. But we have to stay decent. We have to stay decent for right now. The next elimination, or the next challenge, that would be the superhero challenge, would be this obstacle course. Honestly, I think Courtney wins that. I think Courtney wins that, and Courtney would have her alliance of her and Duncan, obviously. She probably wouldn't like how close Duncan is with Gwen, but she knows she needs the votes right now. So she would tell Duncan, bro, get Gwen, vote out Zay, blah blah blah. Let me, Lashana, we already like kind of cool with Lindsay. We talked to Lindsay. Lindsay's kind of cool with Beth. We're ready to vote out freaking Gwen. Get it out of here. Oh, come on. And then Duncan overhears the strat to vote out Gwen because Gwen would be the only person we could really vote for. Actually, no, we could probably vote out Duncan. Yeah, we would probably vote for Duncan to be honest. But Duncan would still overhear our strategy. He would threaten Beth into voting with them, basically, and Beth falls for it, being somewhat scared. And yeah, sadly, your boy doesn't make it to the finale yet again, and I get voted in eighth place or seventh place. Like, come on, what's up with me in the seventh, man? Like, what's going on, bro? Like, what's going on, bro? Anyway, we move. The next challenge of relevance would be, let's see, would be the fairy tale challenge. And so we have three parts to this challenge. The first one would be the slippers. Who fit in slippers? And let's keep it a buck. No, no, no. I don't know. Gwen seemed like she got big feet. I don't think she'll be able to fit. I mean, you see the big boots she be rocking, bro. So I feel like it would be between Courtney and Lashana. Just for the sake of it being easier for me, we're gonna say Courtney wins. And here I think okay, the second part of the challenge is the trolls, blah blah blah. Everybody competing. People who make it to the second round, probably Duncan, maybe Lashana too, maybe Gwen, maybe. Heavy emphasis on maybe though. But either way, I think that Duncan ended up taking on the dragon. He goes up to the top. Courtney says, "Let me win," and he's just like, "All right," and climbs back down, letting her win immunity yet again. So Lashana would kind of be at a loss. She would be like, "Yeah, I'm obviously next." But Gwen would go to Lashana with them being friends, like in the last season, and she would be like, "Look," she would probably talk to her and be like, "Look, Lashana, vote with us. I can get Duncan to get Courtney to not vote you out, but you just gotta vote with us and join the alliance." And Lashana would be like, "All right, cool. That's good with me." You feel me? Um, I mean, I'm sorry, Beth, but like, I just think they vote out Beth here because Beth is harder to beat in a finale challenge than Lindsay. You know. So yeah, Beth just gets eliminated here. Because Duncan would like probably like Gwen would plead to Duncan. Duncan would sweet talk Courtney for the best way he could. Be like, I mean, let's do her a solid, blah blah blah. And then bam, then we got this team. Now Courtney would kind of be freaking out just because looking at the final five, she's not confident in Duncan and her's ability to get out Gwen and Lashana. But here's why. Not because they're like a big threat or anything, because of Duncan's relationship with Gwen. She doesn't see a way that he votes her out over someone like Lashana or Lindsay. And that's a problem for her, right? So I think that's one thing that's on her mind, obviously. And the next challenge would be the rock and roll challenge. Right? I'm pretty sure that's the one. Yeah, and Owen returns in this challenge. So with Owen returning this challenge, things would already be, like on the up and go because Courtney would still be happy yet not happy because it's another person she got to get rid of, but that's also another number she can use to try and fix this Gwen and Shauna situation. So the first part of the challenge happens, and Duncan still wins, playing nonchalantly. But in the end, Courtney will still get a well, Lindsay will win the paparazzi part, but in the end, it only matters the last portion of the challenge, which will go to Courtney for raging at the situation she's in 'cause she don't like this, and she'll be absolutely beating the shit out of everything, breaking it. Yeah, she wins. And now we get to the elimination, where she tells her alliance of four now that we gotta vote out Lindsay. Um, or Owen. It don't really matter. Anyway, as for the vote, I think that Courtney gets her alliance of Duncan, Gwen, and Lashana to vote for Lindsay or Owen. Doesn't matter which one, because that's not her plan. She needs to. Oh yeah, Owen will be coming back as the mole. I didn't say that, but he will be coming back as the mole. So the whole point of this um, plan of hers is to show that is that she has the power because she knows she has the power. She just doesn't know how to use that power to get Gwen out. But she finally figured out a way. So she would get them three to vote for Lindsay. Then she would go and tell Duncan, "Okay, we're changing the vote. Vote for Lashana, but don't tell Gwen." And Duncan would be like, "But come on, we can keep her in one more round." He would probably fuss a little bit to keep Gwen happy, but then Courtney would be like it just has to happen. Just let it go. Blah blah blah. Courtney wears the has the has the balls in a relationship. Wears the pants in a relationship. Blah blah blah. Duncan gonna be like, whatever. It's not at least as long as it's not Gwen, he's cool with it. Courtney would then go to Lindsay and Owen. Be like, yeah, look, Lindsay, you're the one that they decided to vote on. But I don't want you gone. Why don't you help me out and vote Gwen? So Lindsay would probably not really understand, be like, okay, I'll vote Gwen. Then Courtney goes, oh, and be like, look, big guy, they want to go for you after Lindsay's gone. Why don't you help me out and vote for Gwen? And Owen would be sent back as a mole anyway. So him having a chance to do a big upset, getting Gwen out, that would be perfect for him. So that's 3 votes Gwen, 2 votes Lindsay, 1 vote Lashana, and Gwen is gone. She's out of here. Which would actually infuriate Duncan. Duncan would probably be like, dude, like bro, what the fuck? Like what happened? Thought we had a plan to get Lashana out. And she was like, "Yeah, plans change. You feel me?" And Duncan's probably starting to, like starting to think, maybe teaming up with Courtney again is not the best idea. You know? Anyway, it would. Anyway, the next challenge after this, because this one was the rock and roll challenge. So the next challenge would be the space challenge. The first part of the space challenge would be to spend the rest of the night in the zero gravity spaceship. I don't remember how that's relevant to the second part of the chapter. I mean, the second part of the challenge. I think it was to choose like the order for the next part, but I don't know. I think Owen fills it with his butt cheeks. Yeah, he gets picked the order. I don't know. I don't know. Overall, I think Lashana realizes the situation she's in. Goes to Owen's ear and be like, "Look, help me out and make Courtney go last." And Owen, having to be the mole, he has to start drama. He would be like, "Okay, I'll do that, but what are you gonna do for me?" And she'll be like, "I don't know. I'll give you my lunch or whatever." He'd be like, "I bet." So he would choose the order. He would like make himself go first, then Lashana, then Lindsay, then Duncan. This would also be the order that Lashana tells him to do, because Lashana would know that he's not gonna want to go in there after she vomits. So she'll take a little bit of the vomit from Owen, so she can get less vomit on her. Because the vomit counted. So Owen would probably do not really good. Honestly, I just don't think he would be trying to win the challenge anyway. Um, Lashana, I think, would do really well. I think she would hold it in a lot. No Diddy, but yeah, I think she would be able to hold it out just enough for her to get a good time, get a good score on it. Lindsay's failing almost instantly. Duncan's probably doing really well, and Courtney's probably gonna do just a bit better than Duncan. But I do think that Lashana still gets the win here. And with Lashana getting the win, Courtney's probably like, yeah, Duncan, probably got to go for Owen. He's shown that he can be good at physical challenges. So she gets Duncan and tries to get Lashana on board to vote for Owen. But Lashana's like new plan. She goes to Lindsay, she goes to Owen, tells Owen, yeah, Courtney's been trying to get you out, blah blah blah. Lindsay, just remember we was allies once. Vote with me this one last time, and Lindsay would be like, okay. Owen would be like, if it saves my butt, Courtney gone, fifth place back to back seasons. How does that feel? Now you outplaced me both times, so I don't really have any room to talk. But fifth place twice in a row, that must sting. Anyway, the next challenge of relevance would be the Animal Buddy Challenge. And the Animal Buddy Challenge, everybody would get. Okay, Duncan would still get the iguana. Owen would still get the bear. Um Lindsay would take uh Beth's spot and get the raccoon. So Lashana gets the shark that Courtney had. Um I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Owen still sabotages everybody, but in the end, Lindsay wins. She has the least temperamental, not temperamental, the least problematic animal. And she would probably still have that like fun adventure that Beth had. So yeah, Lindsay wins immunity here. So because Lindsay has immunity, it's kind of between Duncan and Lashana because they're both the biggest threats to the game, right? They're both the biggest threats, and they're both trying to go for each other. So I think here, I think I'm gonna be honest. I think Duncan is just easily targeted. Like I think he tries, but like he was also the winner in or the finalist in the last season. So I just think it's like, yeah, I think it's just yeah, he just gets booted. Like pretty simple. Okay, and I just remembered. Yes, Heather did get her hair shaved. I do remember. I do remember. I do remember. She did get her hair shaved. Um, because it was Bridget and Duncan. Blah blah blah. Anyway, yeah, Duncan gets eliminated because he's a previous finalist and he's the biggest threat left in the game. Um, he's been protected by Courtney for this entire merge. He gets eliminated here in the final four. But he's not going alone because Chris just shoves Owen in there too. Like, dude, you've been a pretty. I mean, you've been an all. He's been actually an all right mole this time. So we're just gonna say, we don't need your services anymore. Like we don't need your services anymore. You can get in. You still get the money. Blah blah blah. So in this timeline, Owen does indeed win the money as the mole. And then we have our finale of Lashana and Lindsay. So that is What If I Was in Total Drama Action. Yes, we have a pretty decent elimination roll with Bridget and Jeff first, then Izzy, then Justin, then DJ, then Owen, then Izzy again, then Heather, Harold, me, Beth, Gwen, Courtney, Duncan, Owen again, and then Lashana and Lindsay as our finalists. My personal winner would. Ooh, that's hard. This is actually a tough one because Lindsay and Lashana are two of my favorite characters from the OG cast. I would probably go with Lashana just because she's more deserving, but I think I might like character-wise. I like Lindsay a little better, but I think Lashana more deserved it in this season. So I'm going to go Lashana. I'm going to say Lashana takes the dub here, is the canon winner, alternate winner for all you Lindsay fans. Sorry guys, but it just had to be the alternate. And yeah, so that is What If I Was in Total Drama Action. This is fun to do, but there was a couple interruptions. But yeah, with that, that's the end of the video. This is pretty fun to do. Can't wait to do World Tour, and can't wait to see you guys in the next one. So have a great day.
Gave it my all, but it never was enough. I tried to be there for you, although times was rough. I tried to work up my confidence, make it up. So all my efforts for nothing, guess it's a buzz. Thought we had something going on like that was us.